I never thought I touched my face at all until I started doing these Zoom meetings, and I'm like, I am going to die because
Yeah.
all I do is touch my face.
Right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first episode of Connecting with Our Community. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Melanie McNamara.
And I'm Dani Fairman. Today, we are so excited to talk to our very first guest. I'm a huge, huge fan of hers. I follow her on social media, and I am just so excited to talk about her networking and her presence in our community.
Me too. I'm so excited. I'm excited to call her a good friend as well. Today we are talking to Missey Trudell of Paper Image Printing in Holt. Hi, Missey.
Hello, ladies. I'm so happy to see your faces.
It's so nice to just see faces other than
Isn't it?
walls, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yes. As of this recording, you may be listening to this 3 years in the future, but as of this recording, we are in a stay home, stay safe initiative through the pandemic. So we're utilizing a lot of video conferencing calls. So thank you so much for being a part of our show today.
I'm incredibly honored, and I'm glad that you guys are doing this. You are all talking about my favorite thing in the world, and that's community. So I love it.
Yes. So Missey, tell us how you got started with Paper Image, and tell us about your business.
Yeah, so I was an employee of Paper Image for 30 years. And then 5 years ago, I had a coworker, and him and I had always talked about how one day we wanted to purchase Paper Image when our founder was ready to retire. And 5 years ago, she came to us and said that she was shutting down the business. And you can imagine, it was like, what do you mean? And that's not an option. And she kept saying to me, I don't have a choice. We're in trouble. And I remember saying to her, but it's not an option. This doesn't just affect you and me, but this is several other families. And I love that when I went to who's now my business partner, Todd, and told him, he had the exact same reaction. Like, this is not an option, and this affects all these other families. And so we had many nights around our dining room table until 1 o'clock in the morning after work, just coming up with a plan and presented it to the bank, and was able to just turn this business completely around. And we are backed up by a phenomenal team of coworkers and clients, and it has been a labor of love.
I love like a good comeback story,
Yes.
And you're heavily involved with the community.
Yes.
And you do a lot of networking. You're a part of networking groups.
Yes.
Can you tell us what groups you're a part of, and why is networking so important to you?
Well, it's interesting because I've always been part of networking groups, and it is really important to connect with people. So often people think of those networking groups, they're going to go and they're going to just pass out business cards. And it's like, no, that you might as well stay home. That's not what it's about. It really is about making connections with people, learning their stories. Everybody has a story. I love hearing what people's stories are. And I'm all about connecting. So I always want to know, like, so who do you know? Who do you want to know? Who are you looking to? Who can I connect you with? How can I help you grow? And that doesn't matter if I've known you for 20 years or for 20 minutes. So some of the part of networking groups that I'm part of have to do strictly with just business, like my B&I networking group. I've been part of them for 12 years, one of the best business decisions we ever made. But I'm also very involved with, Todd and I are very involved with the Holt Business Alliance and the Mason Chamber and NECW. And, there's so many different phenomenal groups out there. You do get to a point where you're like, okay, there's only so many hours in the day. And in our greater Lansing area, you could network Monday through Friday from first thing in the morning until the end of, till late in the evening. Mm-hmm. And so we have had to step back. I have a phenomenal assistant, Jessie, and she's really started going to some of these networking groups as well. And it's so important to your business. But you know what? You find that that's how Melanie and I met. I mean, that is how you meet people that become so much more than just business referral partners, truly become friends.
Absolutely. Right. I agree with that, Missy. And Jessie's amazing, and it's so nice to see
I love her.
About letting her out of
Yes.
shop. And
Yes.
yeah, you are definitely a lady who gets things done too, as we can
Thank you.
see. But so for this pandemic, you started a really cool hashtag that I think struck a chord with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So the day that we were announced that we were going to have a stay-at-home order, right before that, when the restaurants were starting to shut down their dining rooms and the drive-thrus were still open and salons were starting to shut down, Todd and I are immediately like, how can we help? So, of course you start ordering gift cards, right? But instead of just buying the gift cards, let's tell people why you're buying gift cards, and let's tell people about their business. Not just the restaurants and the salons, but also like Leg Lumber, who's been part of Holt for decades, and people don't think about going to them for specific things. Instead, they go down the street to the big box. And it's like, no, we really need to support local. Mm-hmm. And then we thought, okay, let's make up some yard signs that's for restaurants that says, we are open for carry out, and we gifted those. We made up 75 of them and just put it on Facebook. Whoever needs these, please let us know. We will deliver these to you. And then we were told that, everybody was shutting down. And there was a loophole, because we do work with medical offices and financial institutions, that we could have stayed open. And so Todd and I had a conversation about that. But the bottom line is, it just doesn't affect us, and it doesn't just affect our profits, but it affects, and not just our staff, but our staff, each of them goes home to a family. Mm-hmm. And so we are really responsible to all of these families. And so we decided that we were going to shut down. And we contacted all of our clients, but our medical and financial institutions, and said, look, if you have an emergency, you let us know, either Todd or I, or both of us. We will go in and open up the production center to get you what you want. The first call was from a psychiatrist office that needed script pads. I'm sure you need more script pads, right? So we did that, and I went home, and I was just, you worry about everybody. And I was reflecting, and I did a post and talked about how this was our decision, why this was our decision, and we were choosing people over profit, and what that meant to us, and asking for stories. Share, because I know that we're not the only ones. There are so many people. We are in a phenomenal community, both Holt, but all of our surrounding community, of people doing great things all year long, not just right now, but all year long. But we don't share those stories. And my thing is, if you know somebody that's doing that, you should be shouting that from the rooftops and letting our community know this is who our neighbors are. And this is who you want to do business with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, you are one of the biggest cheerleaders I know of other people. And you're just a joy to be around.
Thank you. Right back at you, girl. Thank you. Both of you.
Okay, so like I mentioned, I follow you on social media. I see you social media has so much negativity out there and bickering back and forth with all these people and their opinions and blah, blah, blah. We could go on all day about that. But what I see you posting is the positive spin on what this pandemic has done. You are, like you just said, like you're shouting, these businesses are doing incredible things. These people are doing incredible things. I've never really looked at it that way, and I think that's so important, because it does put that positive vibe out there. Yeah. But are there specific ones that you have noticed that have maybe gone above and beyond that you want to kind of shout to?
Such a long list, Dani.
I'm sure.
And it's interesting, because people assume that when I'm giving shout outs that I know these people. Not necessarily. I just, again, when you see somebody doing good, don't you want to go up to them and say thank you? It doesn't matter if it affects you or not, because we're so quick to call people out when they do bad. Mm-hmm. So Mason Rental Community, they have like RVs. They put out there right away, anybody who was in the healthcare that did not feel comfortable going home to their families after their shift, for free, they would deliver them a trailer that they could put in their driveway, and they could stay in there. How cool is that? Kona Ice and Holt has been awesome of giving out so much, helping, teaming up with the township and the Holt Public Schools, and just totally changed their whole business model to feed families. And when I say feed families, in just in a few weeks, they have done well over 9,000 meals.
Mhm.
You know, there's so many stories. Red Cedar Spirits is one of the many distilleries that have changed over and created hand sanitizer. And I know that they have donated so much to child and family charities, which is one of my favorite charities out there. So there's just a long list. I was talking earlier, a woman called me earlier, a friend of mine, and again, started out as a business friend, became a personal friend, and we were just touching base. And she was like, wait a minute, there's people out of my driveway with balloons. What is going on? She did not know them. They were just going house to house and holding up signs and saying, you're cared, you're loved, you know, have a great day. How cool is that? So you don't have to have a business to do these things. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I got chills with you.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome. It's so, and yes, I love seeing the collective, everyone collectively stepping up to help their neighbors and help people they don't even know.
Yeah.
So thank you, Missy, for everything you do.
And thank you, ladies. And we all, the three of us, we know there are so many more people out doing the good,
right,
than that they are. It seems like the ones that are doing the bad are just a lot louder about it. And so I think that's why we are responsible to share the good.
Mm-hmm. And so many people who are out there doing good deeds are very humble.
Yes.
So they're not shouting it from the rooftop. So it takes people like you and now Dani and I to shine a spotlight on them and say,
yes,
hey,
yes,
what they're doing
yes.
is amazing. Well,
thank you, ladies.
Thank you. So before we let you go, thank you again for your time today. We always ask our guests 5 fun questions to wrap up our talk. So the first one is, what does community mean to you?
Community means people and neighbors. We all have value. We all have a story. And I think it's our responsibility to learn what each other's stories are.
I love that answer.
Thank you.
That's such a good answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your favorite snack? Do you like salty, sweet?
You know, since this whole epidemic, we have been making a whole lot of popcorn. So I think that I don't know that it would have been my answer 6 weeks ago, but today it's popcorn.
Popcorn. All right. What's your favorite vacation destination in Michigan?
Pentwater.
Pentwater.
I love Pentwater. And quite frankly, anything that has a beach where you can put your toes in the sand and get in the water and play with the kids. I love it.
Yes.
Dogs or cats?
So we had okay, so for right now, we've got 2 cats. Yes.
That's funny. So, and then the 5th question is, what is your daily non-negotiable?
My daily non-negotiable is I want to be able to, at the end of the day, really know that I moved through the day with integrity. That, you know, I gave it my best. Of course, we all have regrets. We wish that we could do things differently. But that I did it. I made my choices and decisions and chose my words with integrity.
That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Missy.
Absolutely, ladies.
That's a tweetable. Write that down, guys.
Aw.
I agree.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And stay safe, stay healthy. And
you too.
So when this is all over, Dani and I want to come to your shop and do some video there and see what it's all about. See
absolutely. We would love it. We would love to see
you.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
We're gonna have to edit. I forgot my last question.
My grandson, he was young, he used to call Pentwater Pimp Water, which, you know, now the child is almost 16 years old and we still won't let him live that down. 10 to 10 o'clock. I was going to say my favorite snack of late is bourbon. But that probably wasn't a good idea.
Right now, mine is margarita, so I get it.
Oh my God, yes. I was like, oh, that caramel whiskey is really good. These are definitely my son's cats, but animals that come here, they don't ever die. We have them for a long time. It's a really long commitment, and they don't get that they're not mine. The kids get it, but the animals don't get it. You might want to just cut that all out.
They never die.
Girl, we had a goldfish that Cam was given when he was in preschool as a party gift. Who does that? That thing, we released that thing in LCC's heated pond like 12 years later. The thing would not die. Yes. And then we visited it. That's even worse.
That's funny.
Yeah, cut that part out.
You, Missy. They can't leave you.